Finally, they have Base app, which is their newest, newest product shipped, which is basically this crypto super app, which is designed to give you access to, trading, investment, and content, like a whole, social fi experience in one single mobile application. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Scoop FM. In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 coins that I think are going to do incredibly well on the Base ecosystem, and why I think the next big rally in crypto is actually going to happen on the Base blockchain. If you're new here or for the first time, welcome. I'm Rohit, aka DeCentralized. I've been working in crypto for the last 4 years, and I've held multiple exec roles across companies like Polygon, Socket Technologies, and Long Hash Ventures. During this course, I've had the great fortune of having this front row seat to see all the innovation that has happened in the world of crypto. As always, this is not financial advice. So if you're new here, please do know I'm just a guy sitting behind the computer in a room sharing what I know about the crypto markets. So if you're going to make any financial decision, legal decision, or even life decision based on anything on this video, it's all on you and not on me. Alright guys, so the first thing that I noticed and I wanted to start with is the net flows by chain. If you see the second quarter, which is from the month of April to June, based on the amount of money that has moved from Ethereum to other chains, and this is data coming from Artemis, all on chain. I'm not making it up. You can go to artemis.com and find this data yourself. But $5 billion, guys, and I'm not even making up this number. $5 billion has flown into the Base blockchain. Now, there are a bunch of different reasons why Base is doing so well, and I was just going through, their website and stuff like that, and it's just titillated me thinking about the fact that how in the world of blockchains, when everything is seemingly so difficult for retail to understand, where the whole industry is all about jargons, it's all about confusing nomenclature. Base is actually going in the reverse order. And what I think their thesis really is this idea that we're not going to win or make crypto mainstream if we keep talking about transactions, if we keep talking about block sizes, if we keep talking about consensus algorithms. We actually need to communicate in a way that the world understands. And so if you go through their website, they start by saying we're building a global economy where each one of us can participate, right? And then they start with an open stack for the global economy. Base is built to empower builders, creators, and people everywhere to build applications, grow businesses, and create what they love and earn on the blockchain. Right? And then they go on to detail some of their products that are available. This includes Base Pay, which is the fastest way to check out. So they have actually partnered with Shopify. And now on each Shopify store, you can actually integrate the Base Pay application and receive payments in crypto. Right? They also have the Base chain. And this is basically their blockchain, which is built on Ethereum and powered by the Optimism stack. And this is where all of the transactions are settled. They have Base Build, which allows builders to have access to all the APIs and SDKs necessary to build applications on chain. And finally, they have Base app, which is their newest, newest product shipped, which is basically this crypto super app, which is designed to give you access to, trading, investment, and content, like a whole social fi experience in one single mobile application. So I was playing around with Base app earlier today, and I think you should definitely download. But the cool part about Base is you have all of these different apps which are all available off the shelf in the application. For you actually get paid to engage with when people engage with your content. So unlike social media where we spend such an inordinate amount of time, we are actually getting nothing in return apart from our attention being monetized by these social media giants for running, personalized advertising. and selling our attention and giving us the platform for free. Actually, there is no free, nothing, no such thing as free stuff, right? So what they're taking in exchange is your personal data. They're taking your attention. They're putting it all together and selling it to an advertiser. So you actually get paid to use the base application. You then have this new social network where basically, as you can see, it's a combination of Twitter and Instagram, and you can basically produce content and post it in various formats, which is really, really cool. You can also trade directly inside the application, so you can buy, sell, and trade on-chain assets, which I think is extremely amazing. Makes it easy for retailers to participate. And think about it, when Robinhood first came to scene, it was right around the 2020 wave, and how that little Reddit group called Wall Street Bets actually almost flipped a Wall Street hedge fund giant, right? By coordinating together. I think that's the power of retail, and by building a retail focused trading app, Base has done incredibly well, right? So this is what Base is. So the cool thing about Base is they understand that 99% of the world don't understand crypto. They don't care about crypto. They just want to use it in the way that they use applications, in their daily lifestyle. And how can we best build a product that fits into that narrative? And I think Base has been able to do that extremely, extremely well, right? How does that position us for a Base rally in the coming times? So I first actually want to start with Coinbase, because I think Coinbase is extremely interesting for a couple of reasons. Why? Because Coinbase actually announced integrating the Base blockchain, and basically every single token that is issued on the Base blockchain, it will now be available to trade on the Coinbase app for US audiences. Now think about it, how big of a move that is, because the moment that happens, you have millions of assets that are being launched on the Base blockchain right now, unlocking. The second big meta that has happened is the focus on massive tokenization. And I don't know if you read this, but Base just flipped Solana to become the #1 platform to launch tokens. And this has never happened, guys. This has never happened because for the longest time, it was simply Solana with Pump Fun, with Bonk Fun, and all of these different launchpads basically leading the way. In fact, since July 26th, the number of tokens that are created on Base has far surpassed Solana. And this is all led by this small, nimble project called Zora. And Zora, as you can see from the likes of it, is very similar to Instagram. You have folks posting images and videos and basically all different forms of art. And every time a creator, let's say this guy Shloms, posts something on Zora, it actually becomes a tokenized, it basically is tokenized on the go. And so each post is a new token, and folks can actually trade these tokens, if they vibe with the creator. And this is how the creator earns, and this is how, something that can go viral can actually be of financial value for the participant. So it's still early days, and I was reading this interesting post by Multicoin Capital, which is one of the tier 1 crypto native venture capital investors, and they say that Zora is arguably the most interesting because it combines asset creation with a new trading modality. Zora is building an Instagram-inspired feed where each piece of content has its own meme with a billion supply, and 1% is given to the creator. Zora leans strongly into the idea of creator monetization. However, the challenge, at least so far, is that it's not clear why anyone should collect any of these Zora content, which is exactly right? What is the evidence that people would actually be interested in spending money to collect someone's content? Because our general behavior on social media today is around engaging with content, and it's almost free of cost, right? So it's a new primitive, it's a new financial primitive powered by the blockchain, and it will be interesting to see if this leads to, in some way, some creator, a new kind of creator economy. All right, guys. So now that we have that out of the way, and we're seeing what is the trend that is happening on base, I've got 5 coins for you that I think are very, very interesting, that each one of you should probably and possibly keep an eye on. And I'm going to start with the one which is extremely obvious. We all know it. We've all seen it. And so I'm going to spend some time talking about this meta. And so the first one really that I want to talk about today is Aerodrome. I was looking at this data point where for 52 weeks, guys, you heard it right, for 52 weeks, Aerodrome has been the number one DEX on base. I was also looking at data on token terminal, and in terms of trading, we know what a behemoth Uniswap really is, but Aerodrome is kicking Uniswap's ass, because Aerodrome on base did $220 billion in cumulative trading volume in the last 365 days, and compare that to Uniswap on base, which did only $80 billion. So they are doing more than twice of the trading volume that Uniswap is doing, right? Now, another cool thing about Coinbase is it's not just Uniswap that it is leading. It is leading PancakeSwap, Sushi, 1inch, Dodo, whether it is a DEX aggregator or a standalone DEX. Like, base is simply crushing it. So the fundamentals are extremely strong. I was also looking at this very interesting chart that Base shared, where Base basically says that in the last year, Aerodrome contributed $260 million to Base's on-chain GDP, and they account for 44% of the total GDP, while surpassing all of the other applications on Base. So basically what this means is, what GDP basically means is, what is the total volume of activity in dollar terms has any given application been able to generate on Base. And as you can see, it's not just Uniswap, it is VIRTUOS, Aave, Sin Futures, all of them are behind Aerodrome when it comes to this performance. There was another very notable thing that I found, which is Base is currently also owning a 70% market share in foreign exchange volumes across blockchains, and the biggest forex pair is Euro USD, which is trading on the Aerodrome DEX, which I think is extremely huge, because if you think about this wave of real world asset tokenization that is happening, Aerodrome is actually positioning itself in a very, very good way. Then again, I say, like, how network effects is so very, 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 very important. Coinbase, we all know what a giant Coinbase is, and I was looking at their About Us page, and I saw $400 billion in quarterly volumes, and they exist in 100 plus countries, right? And so what has happened as a result is they have 9.7 million transacting users, right? Active users in Q1 of 2025. That's a huge number, guys. And if you think about it, all of the assets that are currently available on Coinbase are basically being deployed on chain, on the Base blockchain, and they're creating synthetic versions or derivative assets out of those. And what is that resulting is that there is now more than $30 million in volume on Aerodrome alone as a result of these Coinbase assets. So what are these assets? This is your XRP, Cardano, ADA, Litecoin, LTC, Doge, even Doge, guys. By the way, these are all independent blockchains, and they are their own assets, but they are being tokenized and brought on chain, so folks can basically one-on-one redeem them whenever they want. They are backed by Coinbase. You have an on-chain proof of reserves. There is zero fees to mint them, and suddenly you bolster the DeFi ecosystem on the Base ecosystem, right? On the Base blockchain. And just look at the yields right now, the LP yields, rewards for providing liquidity to these pairs. On the CBBTC and Doge pair alone, the reward is 1710%, guys. That's unreal, crazy, right? And if you see right now, XRP basically dominates that on-chain supply with almost $32 million or $40 million being Coinbase XRP, followed closely by ADA, Doge, and LTC. So we can already see there is an increase in on-chain supply. There is volume, there are holders, right? So these numbers point to a direction where there is interest for these assets. There is participation of traders coming in using these assets, and transactions are being going up, like almost 200,000 transactions on 14th of July, which is interesting to see, right? Okay, so that's all I have on Aerodrome. That's my first token. I think it's currently trading, and let's also quickly look at the chart for Aerodrome. And so if I search for Aero right here, I think right now, because of a market correction, we might have a very interesting entry. So yes, it's currently trading in at about 692 million. At a fully diluted valuation of $1.3 billion, right? And just to give you perspective, guys, if you compare this to Uniswap, which is the giant, DEX in this space, they have a fully diluted value of almost $10 billion, right, guys? So there is a significant 5 to 6, 7x upside available for Aerodrome. By no way am I comparing Uniswap to Aerodrome. I think Uniswap is a whole different beast. They are multi-chain. They have the Uniswap V4 hooks. They have a lot of different products and services. But Aerodrome is definitely kicking their ass when it comes to dominance on the base ecosystem. And I feel like drivers like Coinbase integrating Aerodrome assets or all base assets on the Coinbase application, making it available to US users, plus the creation of the base app allowing retail to participate, is not only going to increase adoption, it will also increase trading volume. And the more trading volume goes up, the more benefit it is to Aerodrome. And as a result, I think the Aerodrome token could definitely be a strong outperformer. It's still sitting at 50% discount to its all-time high. So I think when things go crazy in the second part of this year, we're going to see Aerodrome being one of the best performers coming out from the base ecosystem, guys. Okay, so that's my thesis on Aerodrome. Now, the next one that I want to showcase to you is Flock. I did do a full video on Flock. If you haven't seen it, I will link it right here, which gives you my full thesis. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Flock, but to quickly understand, Flock is essentially a decentralized trading protocol. It basically uses blockchain as an incentive mechanism and uses federated learning technologies to allow training of AI models or LLMs on the edge, right, on private data. So the nodes don't have to reveal the data that they're training the model on, yet you can get the advantages of that data by training a sophisticated LLM and basically contributing all of that back to the chain. Base, I think Flock is currently trading in at about 175 million FDB, and it has a long way to go. I feel with all of the attention going to Tao and these other places, Flock has great backers. Their team is all Oxford based. All well entrenched in the AI space, and I think it's going to be one of the best performers when it comes to AI coins. It might be a multi-cycle bet, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to do very, very well. So Flock is definitely one of those tokens. As you can see, there was this rally that came in sometime back on the news of Flock basically making some announcement around new staking rewards. And guys, when that happened, almost 60 million or so Flock was basically staked, which is a huge percentage of their circulating supply. So keep an eye on Flock. I think it's going to be a great performer in the coming cycle. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is Clanker. Now, if you don't know what Clanker is, and one of the key drivers for this token, I'm going to talk about that. So Clanker is basically a token launchpad. Right. So what it allows you to do, and let me just open the website and show you what it is exactly. So it's kind of very similar to Pump Fund, and it allows you to launch a token And the way they do it is you can actually come to the website and do it, or you can basically just go to, Farcaster. And when you go, you can go to Wapcast. And basically, when you go to Wapcast, you can launch a token straight from the home page by simply, typing a cust, right? So if I go to I think I did this once before. If I go to my profile, I did launch a token. Yeah. So all you need to do is, hey, Clanker, deploy a token called whatever, give it a name, give it a symbol, upload an image, and bang on, your token goes live on Clanker, right? So they're making it like they created this no-code way by having this agent taking care of all of the heavy lifting around token creation, and basically launch a new token. We have seen some very, very interesting projects come out of Clanker. So if we just go back to Clanker again, you have some of the best performers being Banker, which is another AI agent, another token launchpad on Base, which was also launched on surprisingly on Clanker. It currently is trading at a market cap of 60 million, one of the best performing coins of this cycle so far. You have Noise, again, one of the good performers. So AOX did extremely well now, though there has been a pullback there. And so I feel like with this new meta of Base overtaking Solana and their excessive focus on tokenizing everything, which is basically the slogan that Jesse Pollock, who's the founder of Base, keeps talking about, I think we're going to see a resurgence in Clanker. I was also looking at their on-chain data, guys, and let me see if I can grab my hands on it. They have generated a total of $33 million in fees, guys. For a token, think about it, like put it in perspective, for a token which is worth $43 million with $33 million in fees. That's huge, guys. Look at the price to earnings ratio. It's very, very close to its earnings. So I think from a fundamental level, Clanker is very well positioned. The meta around tokenization of Base is only going to help Clanker. Okay, so the third one that I want to talk about is VIRTUOS. Of course, VIRTUOS has been around for now almost a year and a half. It came in with much fanfare, and when it did, it ran 7x from almost nothing to 4.2 or 4.4 billion dollars. That was a 7x. It then kind of crashed after the market collapsed, and on 17th of April earlier this year, they announced Virtual Genesis. For those of you who don't know what Virtual Genesis was basically curated AI agents that were tokenized and launched on the VIRTUOS launchpad. And since that announcement, Virtual actually ran 350%, guys, 350%. So it went from $350 million to all the way to like $1.3, $1.4 billion. Since then, there has been some correction, but it's still way above its all-time low. So I feel like VIRTUOS as a contender in the launchpad ICM meta is very, very strong. Their big selling point, by the way, guys, is the creation of autonomous businesses. So powered by Agent Commerce Protocol. So let me just explain to you in very, very simple words what this means. What it really means is you have these different AI agents represented by a coin, which are launched on VIRTUOS. And then these AI agents have their own powers. So one AI agent could be very good at analyzing all of the data on X and then generating investment reports. Another could be trained just on trying to understand the sentiment, positive or negative, for a given token. A third agent might just have a wallet, and a fourth agent is basically investing like a portfolio manager. So combined, all of them are providing services to each other and creating what is known as an agent commerce protocol, and the creation of autonomous businesses where agents work in tandem with each other to create value. I think this is a great meta. If you think about where AI is going and how AI is evolving, how smart it is getting, I think this reality is not that far away from us. I think this could just blow off top and at like $1 billion or something. I think it's currently trading at 867 million, guys. I think this is a great entry point for VIRTUOS. Even if we just go to its last all-time high, which is 4.6 billion, we're still looking at a good 5x or so from here, which is incredible for a project with such strength, fundamentals, and network effects in this space. The next one that I want to talk about is Bio Protocol. Now, I know many of you probably don't know what Bio Protocol is, so I'm going to simplify it for you. Bio Protocol is basically a DeSci project, and their idea is that, hey, blockchains are good for a lot of things. Why don't we use the blockchain and the decentralized rails that it provides and the fundraising capabilities that it provides to fund science, to fund researchers who want to do independent biotech research, and then create these micro DAOs, or DAOs for those of you who don't know, are decentralized autonomous organizations. Basically, this is a invisible organization which is controlled by the token holders. So every time the DAO has to spend money from its treasury, the token holders have to vote on a proposal on chain, and only then can the money be moved out from a wallet. So they want to create these research organizations who are working on cutting edge biotech research and fund them. And the meta this time around is that given creator coins have made a comeback, all thanks to Zora on base, given their focus, they are planning to their tweet says, what if this time the content behind them is real world science? So now they feel, with this, they made the announcement that they want to launch the bio agent launchpad, which is basically, it will improve how agents lead scientific progress. And the launchpad will enable agents to seamlessly access on-chain features such as knowledge graphs, ownership tokens, smart contracts, and token payments to integrate them in a real world economy. So basically very similar to VIRTUOS protocol, but kind of focusing more on scientific agents and scientific researchers who want to do high quality research, launching these tokens. I also saw this interesting tweet by CZ where he said that DeSci, the future of DeSci is decentralized. So I think there are big folks who are behind this project. By the way, guys, Bio Protocol is also funded, or Binance Lab, which is now YZ Labs, is an investor in Bio Protocol. It's currently trading at an FDV of 235 million. So if this meta really unlocks, they could be one of the best performers. Now, the last coin that I want to talk about today is Mamo. For those of you who don't know what Mamo is an all-in-one financial assistance companion. It is available on the Base app, and you can chat with this agent in natural language, and it will do a lot of things for you on chain, like buying or selling an asset, investing your assets in a DeFi world, earning a rate of return, giving you real-time advice and insights on your portfolio, and many other things. In terms of price action, you can see Mamo did exceedingly well a couple of weeks back. Starting with on the 9th of July, it returned 248%, and since then it has corrected quite a bit. I think it's one of the strongest coins that were launched in the virtual Genesis launchpad meta, and it remains so. Right, so it makes you as a personal finance companion. I think this is a meta, or as a tool or technology, very much relevant to the world of blockchains that many people have a hard time using. And I think with Mamo, something big can unlock. So that is all I have for you on today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop me a like and tell me what you thought about it, and what would you like to hear again on this show. And definitely stay around, and I would see you again in the next video. Signing off.